It's Yosemite's premier hike. Roughly 16 miles round trip and almost 5,000 feet of elevation gain also make it one of its most challenging. So join me from the top once again as we summit Yosemite's Half Dome. We're sitting here just before Olmsted Point along Tioga Road in Yosemite's high country. Out there is Half Dome, and from this vantage point with my long lens, I could see the cables along with hikers trekking up them. The most famous, if not infamous part of this hike, probably something to do with that part up there that's at a roughly 60-degree angle. I'd hiked Half Dome before in one of my previous Yosemite visits, and now it was time to do it again. Yosemite National Park. One of the most iconic in the United States, and home to this truly legendary hike. 16 miles round trip, just over 4,800 feet of elevation, steel cables, sheer drop-offs, and a summit that gives you a 360-degree view of one of this planet's greatest natural cathedrals. This was my van's first cross-country trip, from Buffalo, New York, to St. Louis, Missouri, St. George, Utah, and then finally, Yosemite. We rolled into our large campsite in Lower Pines and kicked off nearly a week in the valley with friends. Towering above the valley at a total elevation just under 9,000 feet, Half Dome is as prominent as ever, showing off its sunset alpenglow. We wouldn't be hiking it tomorrow, or potentially at all. Hiking Half Dome when the cables are up requires winning a permit via a lottery, found on recreation.gov, linked below. And for that, you have two options. The first is a general lottery which opens in the beginning of March and closes at the end of that month, with the results announced about 2 weeks later. For this, you can pick just about any dates during the season, with a maximum of 6 in your group. Out of 9 people, none in our cohort were successful in this early lottery. The next option is the daily lottery. Any permits from the early lottery that aren't claimed go back into a pool, and another lottery takes place, this time 2 days before the preferred hiking date. Days of the week make a difference as seen here, with some having a better chance than others. Obviously, the more people you have entering, the better your chances too. This would be our last chance, and the next day, the first thing we did was enter the lottery. Nothing to do but wait for results later in the day, and getting a late start with some valley heat, instead of hiking, we decided to make the hour drive up into the high country. Tioga Road was open for the season, and cooler temperatures plus the beautiful, though chilly blue waters of Tenaya Lake were calling. From here at the lake to Tuolumne Meadows, it was wonderful to be back. And wouldn't you know, success! We got the word that we'd won the lottery. 2 days from now, we'd be hiking Half Dome once again. Which brings us back here near Olmsted Point and a view of those cables. 600 feet and 3/8 of an inch thick, galvanized steel on either side. The cables are essentially your handrails for pulling yourself up the backside of Half Dome. And they might not be for those with a fear of heights. Some cables basics. It's a one-way path that has to be 2 ways. Expect traffic jams going up and down them. Here, you have to communicate. Call out to those that you are planning to pass if you can come up, or ask if they want to come down, and vice versa, if they don't ask you first. And those metal cables are not easy on your hands. Bring a pair of gloves with good grip on the palms. If you forget, chances are there'll be extras at the base of the cables, but it's never guaranteed. It's also mostly upper body strength. The granite on the cables section is worn smooth, so you're essentially pulling yourself up from wooden board to wooden board. There's generally a 10-foot gap between them. Of course, there's the matter of safety. Take your time, be careful of other hikers, don't go on the outside of the cables, and maybe most important of all, be mindful of the weather. Half Dome is one of the tallest features here, meaning during thunderstorms, it's probably the worst place to be. Hikers have been struck up here. Furthermore, rain turns this granite into the slipperiest rock. Most falls have been the result of hikers being on the cables during rain. If you're familiar with how to use a harness, you can clip onto these things too if you'd like. The day before our hike, we didn't just want to sit around and do nothing. It's Yosemite, after all. That being said, we also didn't want to do anything too strenuous. So we landed on a new hike, for me at least. Illilouette Falls, one of the lesser seen waterfalls in Yosemite. Starting up from Glacier Point, it's about 5 miles round trip and 1,400 feet of elevation change to this plunging waterfall. 370 feet into the valley below, that is. I'd be bringing about 2 liters of water for this one, and I'd need at least double that for Half Dome. Speaking of, you get great views of the Mist Trail down below, where you can see Vernal and Nevada Falls, as well as Half Dome. Also, this is the trail we'd be taking up to Half Dome tomorrow. We started out, descending and enjoying the views of Half Dome in the valley below. Just before reaching the river and this bridge is actually the main viewpoint, via a slight spur trail on your left. Despite being July, the falls were still going reasonably strong, with just the slightest rainbow. Continuing a bit further, we reached the end, and where, with a bit of scrambling, you could almost look over the edge of the falls. Almost. And there, of course, was Half Dome, patiently waiting for us. With summer's heat making itself more and more known, we began the trek up and out. Tomorrow would be an early start, around 3:30 a.m., to beat the heat and any potential afternoon thunderstorms. With water, snacks, and sunscreen packed, we made sure we had our permits screenshotted on our phones to show the ranger at the checkpoint, and then turned in for the evening. 16 miles and 5,000 feet awaited us in the morning. Walking the road from Lower Pines for a bit eventually put us at the beginning of the Mist Trail. Nowhere to go but up from here. This first section of the Mist Trail is about 1.1 miles and 400 feet of elevation gain, which takes you across the first footbridge into the last chance for fresh water and flush bathrooms. If you don't feel like carrying all your water, there are opportunities to filter along the way, which we'll get to. From here, the fun really begins. The stairs take you up and along Vernal Fall. Plunging 317 feet, Vernal Fall gives the Mist Trail its name. During the spring months, expect to get wet along this portion. Still a little dark this time of day. So, let's head on up. Another 500 feet of elevation and half a mile puts you at the top of Vernal Fall, where you'll find an overlook and a view of what you just hiked up. The trail flattens here for a bit, following the river until you cross it via this footbridge, where you start to get a view of waterfall number 2, Nevada Fall. It's approximately 1.1 miles and nearly another 1,000 feet of elevation from the top of Vernal to the top of Nevada, featuring a lot of switchbacks. The higher you get, the more grand the views of Nevada become, plunging nearly 600 feet into the Merced below. So keep heading up, and up, and up, until you reach the top of the trail here, and the last pit toilet, should you need one. Detour towards the right and the John Muir Trail if you want to peek over the waterfall, or consider taking this route back down. It adds an extra mile and a half, making for a more gradual decline and a little easier on the knees. From here, the trail levels out for about 1.2 miles as you hike through Little Yosemite Valley. The Merced River is on your right for most of this part, and a heads up. It's your last chance to fill up on and filter water, which we stopped here to do. It was a cool and clear morning as we made our way through the rest of the valley. Enjoy this level portion, because at the turnoff here, it's pretty much nothing but uphill now. 2.7 miles and roughly 1,800 feet of elevation awaits us as we traverse towards the backside of Half Dome and our next major stop, the subdome. There's not much to do except enjoy the woods. Half Dome will begin to show itself more and more. Just follow the signs too. And then you're at the ranger checkpoint, where you'll need to show your permit to proceed through. And now it's time for the subdome. Some hikers will swear that this portion is the worst part of this hike. More difficult than the cables themselves, 500 feet and about 0.4 miles long. Does it sound that bad? Maybe, maybe not. But it's completely exposed and you've already hiked quite a long way. Plus, you still have those cables to tackle. I don't know. Either way, it's not fun, so start this grind and head on up. Your reward is a stunning view of Half Dome and the base of the cables. Probably not a bad place for a break, though there's not a lot of shade up here. 400 feet and with an average angle of 45 degrees, the cables, in my opinion, live up to their reputation. So once you're ready, secure everything inside of or to your pack, put your gloves on, and start the trek upwards. Aside from hopefully avoiding any inclement weather, another advantage to an early start is maybe missing some of the traffic on the cables. That wasn't our case today, so now it was just a matter of patience and communication. If you have the stomach for it, when you're safely and securely stopped on a wooden slat around the midway point, turn around to appreciate the angle and the height from here. And in no time at all, you'll emerge on the top of Half Dome. It really is quite an accomplishment, and what amazing views of Yosemite and the valley from up here. If you don't have a fear of heights, head over to the iconic visor for a photograph. Otherwise, revel in the views and take it all in. And maybe try not to think about the fact that you have to hike back down now. I'm not sure if it's easier going down the cables backwards or forwards. I'll leave that up to you. What I do know though is that the pizza from Camp Curry Pizza Deck has never tasted better. There's a lot more in Yosemite than just Half Dome too. So I'll leave you here with my full video guide to the park as well. Until the next time.